Owensboro Board of Commissioners regular meeting, July the 10th, 2022. At this time, I'll ask the City Clerk, Beth Davis, to please call the roll.
Commissioner Jeff Sanford.
Here.
Commissioner Mark Caslen.
Here.
Mayor Tom Watson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Larry Maglinger.
Here.
Commissioner Bob Glenn.
Here.
Thank you. Item 3 on the agenda, invocation and pledge. We'll ask Commissioner Mark Caslen to do that. Please stand if you're able.
Dear Lord, we thank you for bringing us together today to work for the good of our city. Please guide us in our thoughts and words. We ask that you guide us in our leadership around the world. Please, Lord, help us to show patience and kindness to all of those around us, and help us to work together in harmony for the better of all of mankind. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, we have a couple of retirement proclamations tonight. The first one will be Officer Heath Stokes, and he's in attendance. Clap, go ahead. Officer Stokes is a native of Louisiana and graduated from Baker High School, located in Baton Rouge in 1992. Officer Stokes began his law enforcement career in 1995 with the West Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office in Louisiana. He joined the Owensboro Police Department in 2002, where he has served in many positions over the last 20 years. While at OPD, Officer Stokes served in the Patrol Division as a patrolman. He later worked as a detective in the Street Crimes Unit for several years. Officer Stokes' tenure in the Street Crimes Unit came under the rise of the clandestine methamphetamine labs, where Officer Stokes worked with other members of the Street Crimes Units to dismantle dozens of volatile methamphetamine labs and conduct numerous drug-related investigations. His tenure with the Street Crimes Unit, Officer Stokes returned after his tenure to the Patrol Division, where he has served the last few years of his as senior officer. Officer Stokes has earned 23 various awards for his outstanding dedication and service during his career at OPD. These awards include 4 Chiefs Awards presented to Officer Stokes during his time as detective with the Street Crimes Unit. We thank him for his service to our community and wish him the best of luck in all his future endeavors. Officer Stokes, please come forward.
Mayor, I'd just like to thank the City of Owensboro for giving me the chance to come here and work with everybody. When I first came here, I think there was about 200 people that had applied for the position of police officer. And here I was from Louisiana thinking, man, I don't have a chance. But lo and behold, they hired 8 of them, and I was one of them. And I really appreciate that and opportunity. And I'd like to thank my family for being behind me the whole time through my career, especially in Street Crimes Unit. You know, almost 8 years being on call, being in and out of the house, not knowing when I'm going to be called called out, but and like my daughter there, Fallon, she was born while I was actually in the academy for the department here. We had to come back, and I was riding with Deputy Chief Winkler. We rode together to the academy. And I said, well, we got to schedule a C-section. I'm going to have a baby this weekend. He's like, really? I said, yeah. So we went to the hospital, had the baby, got to see her for a little while, and headed straight back to the academy. But it's been a good career, and I appreciate everything y'all do for us. And Chief, you as well. Very well. Thank you.
I think sometimes we do forget about the sacrifices the family makes for you guys and gals, and we certainly appreciate your efforts as well. Okay, the next retirement guy, Mr. Tim Goff. Tim came to the finance department as an accounting clerk in July of 1992. He was later promoted to accountant and finally assistant finance manager. Over his 30-year career with the city, he has been a part of many changes to the city and helped shape many improvements within the finance department. He is our encyclopedia of city knowledge and enjoys sharing his knowledge and mentoring others. Tim's dedication and commitment to the city and finance is rare to find in today's workforce. He takes pride in his work and is willing to take on any task that he is given. Because of this, Tim is our finance jack of all trades. Timmy. Tim has done everything from accounting to payroll processing to overseeing parking leases and garages. Tim always looking for ways to improve and automate processes. Staff often says there's not any information Tim could not put into a spreadsheet. Tim is honest, kind, and witty. His clever comments, little bits of trivia, and funny stories will be missed. He has served the city, our finance team, and other city agencies with dedication, enthusiasm, and integrity. Tim, thank you for your 30 years of service. Congratulations on a wonderful career, and best wishes for your much-deserved retirement. Tim Goff. All right, you can speak, but Beth, turn the thing on to 3 minutes.
No, I don't think I'll speak. They've heard me speak around here enough.
Okay, the next retirement recognition goes to Alan Tanner, and he's not present tonight. So I'll read his information, and we'll get this to him. Alan Tanner began his career with the City of Owensboro in May of 2015. After 7 years of service, Alan will officially retire July the 31st, 2022. During his time with the city, Alan has been a tremendous asset to the facilities maintenance department. He has painted every city-owned building and assisted in numerous projects. According to his co-workers, Alan is dependable and always willing to help. The City of Owensboro thanks you for your service and wishes you all the best in your retirement. Okay. All right, the next item on the agenda is a proclamation for the Dust Bowl week. I think Michael Johnson's here to, well, you've been hiding over, I didn't even see you. Whereas the annual Dust Bowl is held in Owensboro, Kentucky at Kendall Perkins Park on West Fifth Street and has been so since its inception in 1974. Whereas Dust Bowl founder Jerry Davenport, one of my high school classmates, had a vision to bring together people of all races, religions, nationalities, backgrounds, and ages. And whereas it is important for events like the annual Dust Bowl to thrive, bringing people of the community together. Whereas the event is not limited to basketball, but includes music, kid-friendly activities, and food vendors. And whereas 2022 marks the annual Dust Bowl's 49th year of existence. Now, therefore, I, Thomas Hart Watson, Mayor of the City of Owensboro, do hereby proclaim July the 19th through the 23rd, 2022 as Dust Bowl Week in Owensboro, and urge all citizens to come out and support it and recognize this long-standing event as the best basketball in the tri-state area. So, Michael, we'll present this to you out there if you like. If I can get up. Oh, it's harder every time.
All right, thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. I definitely humbly accept this award on behalf of the Dust Bowl. President of the Dust Bowl Board of Directors couldn't be here tonight. They asked me to step in. I'm more than happy to do that. 49 years it's been in existence, and it's been super basketball from all ages, you know, and families can come out. It started actually tonight, and we also have different events going on throughout the week. And like I said, it's not just basketball. There's other events. There's kids' night. You know, there's other festivities going on throughout the week. So it's an opportunity for all families to come on out and just enjoy yourself. You don't have anything going on throughout this week. And I guarantee you, it won't disappoint. It is some of the best basketball in the tri-state area. I guarantee it. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, item 5A, consider approval of minutes dated June 21st, 2022. I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please? Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 5B, consider board appointments. Dugan Best Neighborhood Alliance, reappoint Andrea Johnson to a 2-year term effective August the 2nd, 2022. Shavley York Neighborhood Alliance, reappoint Scott Gillen, Terry Hedges, Tracy Bivens Helm, Eric Houchin, and Timothy Scheidigger to a 2-year term effective 2022 July. Reappoint Robin French to a 2-year term effective August the 5th, 2022. Northwest Neighborhood Alliance, appoint Michael Johnson to a 2-year term effective.
Thank you.
Yeah. Effective July the 19th, 2022. I'll make a motion to approve these board appointments. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Any discussion? Speak now, forever hold your peace. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 6 on the agenda is ordinances, second reading. We have none. Item 7, first reading, no vote. Ms. Davis.
Ordinance 16-2022, an ordinance revising employee handbook policies 109 and 110 thereby changing age and educational requirements for firefighters and changing eligibility requirements for lateral transfer police officers and firefighters. Introduced and publicly read on first reading this 19th day of July, 2022.
Thank you. City Manager, please bring us to date on this employee handbook.
I'm happy to do so, Mayor. Thank you. This is first reading of an ordinance amending Employee Policy 109 regarding entry-level police officers and firefighters, and Policy 110 regarding lateral hire police officers and firefighters. Lateral hires are those that come in from external agencies. Both Policy 109 and 110 revisions are presented in an effort to broaden the police and fire department's candidate pools. Policy 109 sets forth the minimum requirements for police officers and firefighters. This revision reduces the minimum age for firefighters from 21 to 18. Additionally, it alleviates the requirement of an associate's degree. However, it's important to note that there are additional education and certification requirements contained within the job description for the position. For example, OFD candidates would still be required to have an EMT or higher registry certification, an associate's degree, or 60 hours of college credit or equivalent work experience in another career fire department, the military, or as an EMT. The major change to this Policy 109 is the reduction in age from 21 to 18. As you know, many local students now graduate with an associate's degree simultaneously with their high school diploma through the dual credit program at OCTC. Such students would now be eligible to apply for the fire department if this policy change is approved. Similarly, Policy 110 sets forth the minimum requirements for a lateral transfer for both the police and fire departments. The current policy requires a lateral to have had 3 consecutive years of paid experience and be currently employed with their respective field. Both chiefs agree that the departments wish to have additional discretion of hiring a lateral candidate with 2 years experience as opposed to 3, and that they must have been employed in their respective field within 12 months instead of being a current employee. An example may be a police or fire employee candidate considering that had recently relocated to the area or recently retired from another department but may not be currently employed and thus currently would not be eligible to be hired as a lateral. Again, the candidates must still meet the requirements on the job description. So again, both policy changes are designed to broaden the pool of potential candidates for our police and fire departments.
Thank you. I just had a thought, we got one that complicated, we might ought to put it up on the screen so people can read it out there too along with you, because it's, I'm glad you had to discuss it. All right, so any other discussion up here? I don't believe so.
I've got a question, Mayor. I was just wondering if any other cities have implemented an 18-year-old requirement, as far as hiring age. Do you know of any?
Who are you asking that question?
I was gonna say,
To Chief Hired there and Chief.
Yeah, the 18-year minimum, it's, I don't have a list of cities and which requirements they have, but just looking at Western Kentucky and then up into Southern Indiana, it's not uncommon to have 18 as the minimum age. For us, which I want to take this opportunity to stress, like we're not lowering our standards. It's going to be the uncommon 18-year-old that has an opportunity to come onto our department. The more operative parts of our job description fall under being a role model and having leadership qualities. Those things are still going to have to be exhibited by our candidates. What we're finding with the between the ages of 18 and 21, a lot of times the mindset of the person, they're already going into the private sector or continuing their education and going out into other roles. We're trying to snag some of that talent while we have a chance in that age frame. We don't expect the majority of our candidates to fall 18, 19, 20 years old. We've hired people in the last few years that are in their 50s, their 40s, their 30s, throughout those ages. We just think this will give an opportunity to grab some of that talent, some of that raw talent, and make sure that we're the first ones who have a chance to develop that and have them become first responders here in Owensboro.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we were breaking new ground here or if it's been implemented, in other places.
The best frame of reference is to look at what the current standard is versus what you're looking at to vote on here. Currently, the minimum age is 21, which it'll stay that way for OPD, is my understanding. But the caveat to that is you could be 20 years old as long as you have a fire science degree, which is a 2-year degree. It's a program that they've had at the local community college, but it hasn't actually been operating for a while. So there's nobody under 21 in our community who would have gotten that degree here. So that was basically a meaningless caveat to the rule. So looking at lowering it from 21 below that, once again, it's not going to be your average 18, 19, or 20-year-old who would be able to apply. The city manager alluded to it, as is appropriate, that anyone who has stepped out and done some of these other things, you could find people with 2 years of military experience. They would be eligible for our, they might be 20 years old, having come out of the military. They're not 21 yet. It gives them a shot at this job before they go on and take their talents into something else. We want a shot at being able to hire them too.
All right, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Any other comments? Okay, we will move to municipal orders. Is that right, Ms. Davis? I have none. Number 9, city manager items.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight we have 2 personnel appointments for your consideration. Jeffrey Johnson, probationary, full-time, non-civil service appointment to laborer maintenance helper with the Grounds Department effective July 25th. And John Rudy, probationary, full-time, non-civil service promotional appointment to crew leader with the Grounds Department effective July 24th.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 9B, city manager comments.
I do have one tonight, Mayor.
Oh.
Over the last, I know, surprising.
That's surprising.
Over the last several months, we've received several complaints. In fact, I know your office, Mayor, received one today about the condition of Frederica Street in South Frederica. In particular, Frederica is a state-maintained route, so it's not a city street or it's not a county responsibility either. The State Highway Department has included the resurfacing of South Frederica in their most recent paving bid, so that should be paved this year, should be completed hopefully by November. I do know the state has asked the contractor to prioritize Frederica, so hopefully it'll be completed even sooner.
And I will say from that MPO meeting we had, they're gonna try and put some kind of fabric down first, I think, before they start putting whatever they put next to try and, it's been a recurring problem for years, so hopefully that'll help. Good input. Okay. Communication from elected officials. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. This weekend, this week, we got a lot of activity. Went to Dust Bowl, and the Davis County Fair opens at the fairgrounds, first time in a couple of years. A lot of activity, so it's really going to be hot, so everybody have a good time, but be careful. That's it, thanks.
Commissioner Sanford.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one comment. I want to thank the county, Judge Manley, for helping us get some extra bleachers, and I want to thank the city manager. They ran a little short on bleachers, and I believe we got them some 4 bleachers, and it's a big deal for them. They were a little short, and they think they're going to have big crowds, but just made a quick phone call, and the judge stepped in and helped us get some bleachers for those guys over there so they can have a great event. So that's it, but thanks to you and the staff.
That's the Dust Bowl, right?
That's the Dust Bowl.
Okay.
That's the Dust Bowl.
All right. Commissioner Glenn.
Yes, I want to congratulate Kentucky Farm Bureau on 100 years of operation. That's quite for any business, that's quite an accomplishment. And I did want to just mention, if you pay attention to the state metrics, our COVID numbers are going up. That doesn't mean we need to panic, but it does mean that you probably need to consider your own health conditions, wear a mask if appropriate, and the CDC and FDA are encouraging people to get a booster if you're eligible and if you're motivated to do so. So just be aware that our temporary vacation from COVID, unfortunately, is coming in. Unfortunately, this is not as lethal a variant as the previous ones. And that's all I've got. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Cashland.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Adam Wright and his crew at Public Works. He and his crew are always working to help wherever they're needed, and sometimes I know groups feel like they're kind of forgotten, and they definitely aren't and are appreciated. Also, I went to the Davis County spay and neutering unveiling last week. It's a very important program that affects the city as well. Its target, of course, is to decrease the number of pets that are euthanized annually, and I believe it's a step in the right direction. And Also, last Wednesday, I had the opportunity to go meet the new owners of the Green River Distillery, the Bardstown Bourbon Company, and want to welcome them to Owensboro. Very professional group that's looking to expanding the Green River Bourbon brand, and they're also wanting to move the rick houses back to Davis County, which will be, you know, a big boost for the local economy. And anyway, that's it.
Thank you. I had an opportunity to be with a group of young men that are qualified for the Reentry Success Program. It's a program that Art Maglinger and the Economic Development family and are instituting, and taking some young folks that maybe stubbed their toe a little bit along the way, and in conjunction with the community college and Davis County Fiscal Court, going to try and give them some skills so that they would maybe be a little more proficient in the community. It's a great program. Saw it on the internet. Actually, it was called Second Chance, but we're calling it the Reentry Success Program. And I want to thank Elizabeth Griffith over at EDC for helping to implement that. Had an opportunity to swear in a police officer, Officer Babbs, I believe it was, wasn't it, Chief? Officer Babbs, was that who? Yeah, okay. Several of us probably went to Keith Lawrence's retirement reception. He's been a great asset to our community, and he'll be missed, but he says he's going to keep running some comments in the paper, and if you follow him on Facebook, he's still got that little edge on him when he's talking on his Facebook. Participated in the Friday After 5 with the baseball parade that ended up at the Bluegrass Museum. A bunch of little leaguers, they were having a blast, and they presented awards to them for how fast they ran around the bases and all that kind of stuff. It's really good to be able to use that venue for things like that. They walked all the way down through Friday After 5 and ended up and sang Take Me Out to the Ballpark, and we had some Incrediballs. We passed out through some people threw them. Chad Benefield did a great job of helping with that, as did Ron Rhodes. I was on a Zoom call this week with Neville Blakemore, and he's the director of You Decide Kentucky. And it's a group of people, elected officials across the state, that are trying to become a little bit more relevant when we talk to our legislators, and actually talk to them as much as we can about what we think is needed in our communities, our different communities. So I'm going to be on that board, and in fact, Thursday I'll be going to the state legislature to talk to President Robert Stivers and some of the staff in the Senate and the House about local taxing options, something that I think would certainly be needed in our community to keep us up on a level playing field with other communities that already have it. So kind of excited about that. Okay, item 11, open public forum. Members of the audience are invited to address the City Commission on any matter of public concern that was not on tonight's agenda. Comments are limited to issues within the scope and responsibility of this commission. Commission meetings are held to conduct city business for the benefit of Owensboro citizens and taxpayers. At this time, anyone who wishes to address the City Commission, please make their way to the podium to be recognized. Speakers must state their name and address for the clerk's record and limit their remarks excuse me, to 3 minutes or less. Since the item is not on the agenda, no response is required from city staff or the commission. And the mayor reserves the right to extend or shorten the time according to the other speaker. So,
good afternoon.
Hey.
Good afternoon, Mayor Watson and honorable city commissioners. I appreciate your service to our community and all you do to make this a wonderful place to live. My name is Glenn Ashby. I live on Agile Court here in Owensboro. I am here because I understand that members of the community came to you at the June 20th meeting in hopes of discriminating against the LGBTQI community, which has a long history of being discriminated against. They voiced their concerns about the Pride event that I and the River Park Center sponsored. They called celebrating the gay community an abomination, and there was sadly no one here to defend us, your fellow citizens. And there's no fairness ordinance in place to defend against these types of attacks. The LGBTQI community is often inaccurately portrayed as the villain, when in reality we are often the victims of casual discrimination and prejudice. We are your brothers, sisters, sons, and daughters. We pay taxes, contribute to the excellent local workforce that we're known for. We raise our families here. We participate in charity events, volunteer for local causes, and are an interwoven part of this community. We have families, friends. We are your colleagues and coworkers. We equally make this community what it is. For over 10 years, I've been the sponsor of the family-oriented Pride Picnic. The River Park Center approached me to sponsor the first time ever an adult Pride event, something our local community really needed and has been asking for. I agreed. My sponsorship was not subsidized by the city, nor the county in any way. I paid the same advertising fee that all advertisers pay. No one mentioned reduced advertising to me, and that'll become important in a moment. Before the event, Rich Jorn, the executive director, and Jennifer Richardson, development director of the RPC, received calls demanding they cancel the event, to the point that they felt that their jobs were threatened. They tried to keep this group happy by putting all Pride decorations inside the convention center. They reduced advertising. After complaints, they added this: no one's required to attend. As I was a full-paying customer, this did not make me happy. I didn't like the gay community being discriminated openly again. I did not find out until the last minute, so I grudgingly accepted. A few vocal people successfully intimidated the River Park Center management to enact this discrimination. A Pride event is more than a celebration of diversity for the LGBTQI community. It is a restorative event against a history of discrimination and those who would still cast shame. That theft of self-esteem is profoundly impactful in our community. Yes, there were cross-dressing entertainers at the event, the same as we have seen on Saturday Night Live, Carol Burnett Show, Klinger on MASH, Geraldine on The Flip Wilson Show. Drag has been a part of theater since William Shakespeare. Who knows how our founding fathers felt about men wearing wigs and makeup, but a Google search might be eye-opening. I know this committee has no governance over the River Park Center or their programming, but a fairness ordinance is in your ability. The fact that there is opposition to a fairness ordinance is evidence of the need for one. A fairness ordinance is more than protection of fair housing and employment and equal access to public accommodation. It is a clear message that it is wrong to discriminate against the LGBT community. Thank you for your time and allowing me to speak. If you'd like to- if anybody would like to keep
City manager reminded me that I forgot about the Fairview Drive extension ribbon cutting. That's a big deal. It's a great public-private partnership that really took a lot of time and effort to try and get it done. And it's it's mainly for the betterment of our community and the school system and the traffic out there. And there were a lot of moving parts and a lot of things that went on to try and get that done. So I want to invite the public out. It's a really big deal to try and include as much of the community inside the city limits. So it's at 10 o'clock Wednesday, July 20, and kind of go through the downs to get through it if you don't know. Most everybody probably does, but I always get lost out of there anyway. So it'll be a nice event. Appreciate anybody that can attend. Okay. Anybody else from the public?
DeMarcus Curry, 3140 Adams Court. Before I do get started, I want to see if it's possible that I can meet with the fire department to see what we can do to get more young people interested in that area. It's something good finding out as far as being a young age. Just an idea of maybe getting some kind of like an obstacle course or something that you do as far as with their training. Maybe they can kind of get them interested in doing that. So I'd definitely like to meet with you to see what we can come up with, get some more young people interested in that field. As we probably were well aware of, what I focus on here in the community involving our young people is the gun violence. and it seems like it's not getting any better. Of course, I always say like what solutions and what things can we come up with. What I also found out doing more research of things, it seems like a problem is with our court system. So what I'm just requesting or asking from the city officials, I know it's not your job or your responsibility, but if there's some way they can get some of these judges and some of these people that's running it over the court systems, we can get their attention to see if they understand how important this situation is. Just a few weeks ago, when I read an article, a young person, he was arrested, or they were arrested, but that same day they were released, having gun charges and things like that. How do you think they're going to act or behave once they are released? It's going to just keep on doing the exact same thing. So until we do come up with the exact solution, or at least do something, that's my main thing, is doing anything. There are things that's going on, but we need more involvement, especially in regards to something like that. So like I said, I know it's nothing that the city officials can do personally, but if you can just at least vouch and let them know how important this issue is, because I hate we have another situation of a young person being taken out due to this gun violence. And one more thing is, I remember last year when I brought up the whole curfew thing. I don't want to get back on it, but I just want to bring to your attention, a few weeks ago, there was a city that had an issue, and city officials put out a curfew, and ever since that curfew was put out, they have not had any issues since that day. So I'm not saying that it can't be done, but at least some kind of solution can be made. So just think about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Could I have a second, please? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned.